Hello. My name is Liz Ashley, and welcome to my channel. Today, before we get into things, I just wanted to say hello. Thank you for watching. And if you want to support my channel, please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, become a member, all the things. Now we're going to go to, so recently, this lady named Kim Davis, we're going to bring this up right here. Okay. I'm going to bring it up. She is petitioning the court to, I believe, she formally asked them to overturn same-sex marriage. I know that she has done this before, and that I think it was she didn't want to give a marriage license to a gay couple. Now she wants them to revisit. So let's get into it.
10 years after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage across the United States.
Yeah, it's only been 10 years, by the way. It's only been 10 years. And this is something that when Roe got overturned, sorry, we're going to go on a little tangent, then we'll get back to this. But when Roe got overturned, I was saying it was going to get overturned for like months. And my mom was like, no, it's not going to happen. That's crazy. It's not going to happen. And then it did happen. And so then after that, I said, well, they're going to do gay marriage next. And she said, it's not going to happen. That's crazy. It's not going to happen. And honestly, I do think this is going to happen. And I think people who are saying, oh, it's probably not going to happen, it's probably not likely, are naive. Because people were saying that about Roe as well. I remember it vividly. And now here we are. So no, I do think this is going to get, I actually do think this is going to get overturned. I think a lot of things are going to get overturned, and I think a lot of rights are going to be taken away that people never thought were possible. Project 2025 is here. It is here. And they're also talking about birth control. There's another lawsuit about birth control actually, that happened recently. And then, you have Pete Hegseth, who's in a church who has literally got married by this freaking pastor that thinks that we should get rid of the 19th Amendment. And I know Clarence Thomas might not vote for it, but I think interracial marriage is going to be in there too. And so a lot of people are saying that this is unrealistic, that this is not going to happen, that they're never going to do this. But they said that with Roe, and everyone said Roe is the first thing. Roe is the first tumbling block. Because they overturned Roe, they can now come for everything else before that, which was sorry, it sounded like I said like booger, which was gay marriage. We'll just say that. And then it was interracial marriage before that. And then I don't know if the 19th Amendment, it's not a part of like that set of rulings, but what I'm saying is these are things that they have been saying that they have been wanting to go after for decades. Ever since they allowed Roe to happen, ever since they allowed gay marriage to happen, they have been going after it. Ever since they've allowed interracial marriage to happen, there have been people that have been going after it. There have been conservatives who have been going after it. So to act like this is not something they have been wanting to do for decades is insane. This is something they have been planning for. This is something that they have been working on. And again, to act like this lady not doing this a second time. They're planning this. This was their plan. This was their plan. They have planned this. It is the same person for a reason. This is something that they have been wanting. So I do think it's going to get overturned. And I'm very upset. I'm very upset. I'm not happy about it.
Senior Washington correspondent Devin Dwyer is on the story for us. All right, give us the deal, Devin. Who is actually asking the justices to overturn this?
Well, in recent years, Kira, we've been waiting for a case like this as some of the sentiment in the country has started to shift a little bit, softened rather, against same-sex marriage. There's been a lot of talk about whether the justices would get a chance to reconsider the case. And as you said there, they are getting that opportunity next month.
I love how we're talking about this. They are getting the opportunity to overturn it. Why do we even, and this is what a lot of people are saying, why do we even have, gay straight marriage? It's because of freaking, oh, God. it's because of religion, and it's because of like, yeah, it's because of the evangelical movement that has been putting religion into like literally every part of our government since like the 1950s. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating that we have to sit here and go between gay marriage, straight marriage. This person can get married, this person can't. It's like, it's not an opportunity. It's literally just getting rid of a human right. Like, it's ridiculous the way this is being, it's ridiculous the way this is being talked about.
We've learned that Kim Davis, she's that Kentucky clerk from back in 2015 that was at the center of international controversy when she refused to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple in Kentucky in defiance of the Supreme Court. She spent 6 days in jail.
She like, good. And okay, then like, don't have that job. It's the same with like the stories about the pharmacists who don't want to give like birth control. Then don't have that job. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel bad for you. Don't have that job. Like, there's no excuse for your bigotry. Like, just don't have that job. You shouldn't be able to do that job.
She lost a defamation suit. She
had to pay find a new job for real.
In damages, $260,000 in legal fees. That's what she's appealing.
So she went to jail and then she had to pay a fine. Good. I'm glad. Good. She should have been fired. But now she's going back to them. So now she's going back to them to rethink this decision.
Appealing to the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
but it's
repealing.
The first time, Kira, that anyone has technically asked the justices explicitly to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, which was that landmark ruling. And she does just that. Her counsel in this petition, which was filed last week, says that decision was egregiously wrong. And if that sounds familiar, that's the same type of argument that was made by opponents of abortion.
Yes, exactly. They are linked, and everyone has been saying they are linked. And I just, God damn it. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off because it's like, who are you? Who are you to say that people can't get married? Who are you? She's been divorced like 4 times. Who are you? Like, who are you? How is this hurting you? It's not. You're just a bigot. You're just a bigot that wants to take rights away from people. And of course, this is something that they've planned. Of course, this is something that they planned. That's why they asked them directly to overturn it because they probably are. Because it was all premeditated. Mike Huckabee bailed her out during his primary. Of course he did. Of course he did.
To overturn Roe versus Wade just a few years ago. So a lot of eyes on this petition. It's unclear whether the court will take it up, but certainly a lot on the line.
Well, is there any indication that justices will consider hearing arguments?
Well, a lot of the legal experts I've talked to say there's no chance the Supreme Court will want to.
I don't believe that at all. Another thing that I was watching today was Some More News, and Katie Stoll, she was saying that, like, you know, at first she believed a lot of the people in the beginning when they were like talking about Roe. She believed a lot of the people who said it would never happen. I did not believe that. I knew they were gonna. I was very firm in my belief that they were gonna overturn it. And everyone in my life thought I was crazy, and I obviously was not. So no, I was in a firm belief that they were gonna overturn Roe. But Katie Stoll, she was saying that she wasn't, and that she listened to a lot of these people. And then it got overturned. And so she was like, you know, now she's like, no, I think you should be worried. She's like, I think people should be worried. I think this is a moment where people should be worried. And I agree. This administration, this like Project 2025, like everything has been going on, they have been planning for. This is not just some on the whim thing. This is something that they have been planning for and that they have been wanting to do for a very long time. This is not just Donald Trump. This is like the Heritage Foundation, okay? They have had these plans in place for a very long time, and Donald Trump just happens to be the vessel, just happens to be the person that is going to go along with it. This is something that they have been planning for a very long time. And so to say that so I think Katie's right. I think this is a very worrying moment. I personally do think that they're going to overturn it because apparently they could have just like not even entertained it at all. But they are, and they're gonna like entertain arguments, and I think it's like arguments. I don't know the specifics of what it is, because I don't think they've put it like on the docket, but they could have just completely like rejected it, but they didn't. And so like, to me, that just spells to me that this is what they're going to do. This is the next thing that they're going to do. They are going to overturn this. And I have thought that they were going to overturn this since Roe. Since Roe got overturned, I knew this would be next. So I do think this is going to happen, unfortunately. She had twins with husband 3 while she was still married to husband 1. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to show these threads. So this is very sad and very angering, and it's really pissing me off, but I am going to show some like threads that I found that were really funny. And it's kind of about that. It's always the loudest people who are against this stuff, who are like holier than thou, who are literally the worst and do not follow anything at all. They are always the ones.
To wade into this, but you know, the climate that we're in right now, anything can happen. Certainly we are in the midst of a campaign against same-sex marriages across the country. At least 9 states so far have either passed legislation seeking to end those rights, or specifically asked the Supreme Court send resolution.
I just muted it.
You saw the Southern
I really need to move. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I really need to move out of Missouri. I really gotta move. I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. God damn it. Because I'm sure we have one of those trigger laws. We had a trigger law after Roe. And then we voted recently to like legalize abortion, and then they overturned it, and the state overturned it, even though we voted for it. I think we have it back now because a judge stopped the legislator. But Jesus Christ, like, that's not like, this is to my point that I was talking about on Wednesday. Red states have already been like suppressed. Like, the blue people in red states, or the Democrats in red states, or the leftists in red states have been very much suppressed. Like they've been doing this shit already in these states, you know? So a lot of this shit has already been happening in red states. It's just now they're trying to do it everywhere.
Baptist Convention, the nation's largest Protestant Christian group, just last month, they voted to make overturning Obergefell a top priority. So there's a renewed effort by activists in this space to try to get the attention of the Supreme Court. And a lot of them, Kira, are pointing to comments by Justice Clarence Thomas, the senior conservative, who after the Dobbs decision, the one that overturned abortion rights in this country, he said in his opinion that he thinks it's time to take a look again at marriage rights. So anything can happen.
I think that's wild. I think that's so wild. God. Oh, God. Clarence Thomas is a wild person.
On the table, but most legal experts think that the chances are less likely than not, Kira.
Got it. Devin Dwyer, thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, and I bet there are still people who think like people are overreacting, or that queer people are overreacting. No. No, we're not. We're not overreacting. This is happening. It's going to happen. And anyone like, I mean, I don't know. I guess legal experts are like, oh, it's probably not going to happen. I don't know if they're just like naive or what. They're even like, I saw Tim Pool was also saying Tim Pool was like unlikely to happen. What? I'm like, this is what you all have been wanting. You all have been going after gay people and trans people for the past like few years. You've been calling them groomers. And now you're like, now that this is happening, you're like, oh no, it probably won't happen. No, it will. And it will because of people like you, Tim Pool, who have been parroting these lies. People were saying we were overreacting about Roe. Yeah, no, and you know what's crazy is like, and I've just kind of gotten used to it at this point. But you know, there's a lot of people in my life that think I'm like, think I'm always overreacting, that I care too much, and that like, you know, I just like, I'm, you know, my parents say I'm brainwashed or whatever, by like leftist ideology. I'm like, you're brainwashed by Fox News. I was watching Fox News today, like glaze Trump over the Russia stuff, and I'm like, no wonder they don't know, like they don't know what's going on. Like they don't like it's just an outright lie. Like, everything they say is a lie. But I've gotten used to being called like crazy or telling people I'm overreacting, or people looking at me a certain way that I'm overreacting. Like even when Donald Trump was talking about the tariffs before he got elected, I was like, well, if he gets elected, because a lot of people were saying, oh, if he gets elected, the economy is going to be better, things are going to be cheaper. And I was like, no, if Trump gets in office, he's going to do tariffs, and that is going to make things more expensive. So I think a lot of people just don't want to believe it, or just are naive and just think that big things can never happen and that big changes just can't happen. And no, they obviously are. We're obviously regressing. Things are obviously getting worse by the day. And so to think that something like this couldn't happen in this kind of environment, in this kind of climate, when we're literally sending the National Guard on our own citizens, then I think you're naive. I think people who think that is overreacting I think they're naive. Because almost everything that most leftists or most people on the left have been saying was going to happen if he became president is happening. It is happening. And so, I guess being called crazy or being called being labeled as that is, I don't know. I don't know. It's a very frustrating thing, and it's a very isolating thing. It has definitely isolated me in my life, but nine times out of 10 it's correct, and it is what's happening, and it is what's going on. And so people will call you crazy, but then it happens. People will say you're overacting, and then it happens. And then the thing is the goalpost will always move, because there are conservatives who are still saying that we're overreacting about Roe being overturned, when there's literally women dying, when there was literally a woman who was dead, who had to have a baby, even though she was dead, and her family did not want to go through that. I'm sure that was like torture for her family, but the state literally made her have this baby. She was dead. That is insane. It's just like, it's insane. And they still think that we're overreacting about that, and we're not. And so it doesn't matter how extreme things get. There are still going to be people who move the goalpost and try to normalize what's happening. They're naive to think it's an overreaction when we see the military on the streets in DC. No, exactly. No, we're not overreacting. This shit is happening. And like, sometimes I do feel crazy a lot of the time, because we have to go about life as normal while all of this is happening. I don't know. But no, we're not overreacting, and things are going to continue to get worse, unfortunately. Okay. So now I want to show you all. We're going to turn it into some fun stuff, because that was just really depressing. But okay, so I want to show you some threads that I saw that I thought were like quite hilarious. I'm going to move this over so we can talk about this first part. Okay, so this is really hilarious. I saw this on Threads. So there was this guy. He's like Christian. He's like obviously like Christian or very religious. And he said, homosexuality is a perfect example of what it means to be a slave to sin. Many homosexuals believe that they are stuck in their desires and have no choice but to submit to their passions. Some are so bonded they claim to be born that way, or they can't choose a different path. Many converts have empathy towards that feeling. Once desired, it becomes a domino effect, and desires increase unless there is intervention. The intervention is faith in Jesus. And so below it, one of my favorite actors said, bro, it's okay. And literally before I even saw that response, I read that whole thing and I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, it's okay. You like men, and that is okay. That is okay. That is an okay thing. And so it's always like that's what is so frustrating about all of this is the people who are parroting this, the people who are pushing this, the people who believe in this really just need therapy. They really just need therapy, and they really just need to be accepting of themselves. And a lot of them are gay or are bi or have feelings that they're confused about or not comfortable with. A lot of these people who are like going after queer people, who are going after trans people, who are going after queer people, like a lot of them just have confusing feelings that they're just uncomfortable with, that they don't want to come to terms with. And so they take that hatred because they feel ashamed, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just people in their lives have taught them to be ashamed. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but they take that shame and they just like turn it outward. And it's honestly, I hate it, but it's also funny when you read something like this, because I'm just like, God, I'm like, really, it's okay, man. It's okay. You can't be happy. You cannot be a happy person. Obviously you aren't a happy person. But yeah, so this guy said all that, and then here are the responses. I just thought that was really funny. Weird way to announce that you're gay, but whatever, babe, happy for you. And then this one is my favorite. Josh, we chatted on Grindr. This is disappointing to see. And like famously, Grindr crashed at the RNC. So you know what that means. And this person said, I'm a behavioral psychologist. Homophobia only comes from those who have very gay thoughts that they're very mad about having. Every time a Christian male speaks out about homosexuality, he has 100% got an account on Grindr. Which is so true. Okay, so this next one is kind of like going off of what his did, only like homophobia. So this person said, homophobia is a perfect example of what it means to be a slave to fear. Many homophobes believe that they are stuck in their prejudice and have no choice but to submit to their ignorance. Some are so bonded they claim it's God's will, or they can't choose compassion instead. Many allies have empathy towards that fear. Once embraced, it becomes a domino effect, and the hatred grows unless there is intervention. That intervention is education and empathy. That is very true. I kind of wanted to talk about this funny thing because everything's so heavy, but no, it is really funny. And, just coming from like experience, like I realized I'm queer like a couple years ago, and it took a long time to realize that. I think just because, I don't know, growing up in a conservative family, it was never like taught to me, but it also like, it just never seemed like an option. And there are different things in my life that have happened where I kind of felt like shame around having some of those feelings. And, but it's funny because like throughout my life, even when like I had friends who were really religious, and I dated someone who was really religious for a while, and I would go to church with them. And the one thing that I always would just get so mad about and just get so like pissed off about was when they talked bad about gay marriage. And like, I would get so mad, and that should have been a sign, but, I would just get so pissed off. I'd be like, it's just like, they shouldn't care. Who cares? And so I don't know. I don't know why I'm just sharing stories, but yeah, I just think it's really sad and it's really crazy. And, I feel bad for like kids who feel this way, and who may like be homophobic because they have these feelings and don't realize it. But when you're an adult like this guy, I don't feel bad for you anymore, because you are actively taking the shame and the hate that you have about yourself, and you are taking it out on everybody else, and it is nobody else's problem but your own. When I realized that I am queer, it actually, like, I learned a lot about myself. Like, I just learned a lot, and I started to become more comfortable with myself. I started just experimenting with different like dressing different ways and just stuff like that. And it's just like, I learned a lot about myself, and I just it's just like it's kind of a cool little journey, you know. I don't know. And so I think that I think it's just really, I think it's sad when people like this, who are most likely, you know, gay or queer, and they shut it off because people tell them they should be ashamed of it. But again, he's a full ass adult. So I blame him, and I think that he'd be happier if he just let himself be who he is. Yeah, that's and Benny Johnson. Maybe Benny Johnson wouldn't be such a fascist freak if he just accepted who he was.